유산보호 국제기구, 유네스코만 있는 것이 아닙니다. 내셔널트러스트는 유럽에서 가장 큰 유산보호단체로 유네스코와는 달리 시민주도로 유산을 보호합니다. 포에버, 포에브리원이라는 슬로건을 내세운 인투는 시민 공동의 소유를 통해 유산을 영구히 보존하려 합니다. 현재는 100여 개의 회원국을 보유한 국제조직 인투로 발전해 시민이 유산을 관리하고 보호하는 문화를 만들어가고 있습니다. 그들은 왜 어떻게 유산을 보호하고 전 세계로 뻗어나갈 수 있었을까요? 기자들은 인투의 사무차장 알렉산더 비숍 씨의 이야기를 들어봤습니다.
National trusts are organizations which are focused on understanding the relationship between local people and their heritage. They conceptualize heritage as places to visit regularly for regular visitation. It looks after natural heritage and cultural heritage, and it considers those two types of heritage within one ecosystem, so thinking about it all in one space. It runs a membership model, so it's all about giving people a fantastic day out. Because what you have to remember is the National Trust relies on people wanting to come back regularly. So why do they run these kind of programs that really engage people at property in the conservation or in some other themes? It's so that they can come back and have a new and exciting experience where they encounter elements of that heritage each time. Therefore, it's not really about tourism. It's about local people. Typically, you're looking after places because they mean something to people, and people who live locally want to protect them. This organisation here has 60,000 volunteers. Volunteering is absolutely fundamental to the National Trust model. People care enough about the place, they're prepared to give up their time and spend time looking after it. And volunteers really do everything in National Trust properties, from meeting visitors, from doing tour guides, to doing the gardening, to doing the cleaning, to working in the cafe. They do everything. So that's an opportunity for them to give back and care for the heritage that they love, but also it's a social opportunity for them to see other people. So it keeps that citizen-led focus, because volunteers are at the front of everything that's happening in National Trust properties. The National Trusts, which are members of ours, have acquired their property. The majority of properties are acquired by donation. So you come in and you say, we're the National Trust, we're going to care for heritage forever for everyone. If you, donor, feel really strongly about making sure this place stays forever and is not destroyed or turned into flats or bulldozed and then replaced by ugly houses, then donate it to the National Trust, and you know into the future that land will be cared for forever. When they're associated with this mission, when they tell people that this is their mission, they want to care for national trusts, donors come to them. You know, there are people out there who really care about Korean heritage and want to make sure that it's, 200 years from now, this specific place, it still looks like this because this is so wonderful and it needs to be preserved for the people of Korea. Those people exist, and if you're out there and you're saying, we're the National Trust, we're in a position to do that, then they'll find you. INTO is a trade body for national trusts. That was a smaller group of trusts, perhaps 20 or 30, and they were coming together in a conference every 2 years. INTO was born out of that conference. Initially, we were the vehicle through which future conferences would be organised, and then we grew from there to be an organisation which is doing everything that a conference does, so sharing learning, running international projects. We also operate the reciprocal visiting program for the national trusts that can be part of it. That includes the National Trust in Korea. That means that if you're a member of the National Trust in this country, you can use your membership to visit national trusts in other countries in the same way. Just use your same card. The National Trust grew out of the Industrial Revolution. If you follow that, England is probably the first country in the world to industrialise, and that's why we have such an old National Trust. It grew out of the citizens' concern that so many historic and beautiful places were being destroyed by the Industrial Revolution, by a building of hundreds of houses, and that the people who lived in those houses would have no opportunity to engage with these beautiful places that are gone, or other beautiful places that they don't even know about, because suddenly they're living in these massively changed heritage sites. I don't know as much as you do about Korea, but I do understand that there has been a huge and rapid rate of change in the country in the last few decades. You know, it's become much more urban, it has become very wealthy very quickly. It has, the way people live has changed very quickly. And I imagine you feel that when you speak to your parents and grandparents, that the rate of change has been very fast. It is in those circumstances where the need for a national trust will be really felt. People are now all suddenly living in cities. What about the historic time when people would be more in touch with the Korean countryside, more understanding of the need to go out and visit places of beauty? And people don't make space for it, but people need to understand that if they don't make space for it, it will be gone. And I hope that there are enough people who understand that need and still feel that need from their own heritage, from speaking to their own ancestors, not ancestors, but even their parents and grandparents, their direct families. They will understand the need to still be engaged in and care about the kind of lifestyle that Koreans had in the past.
우리의 언어, 생활 방식, 우리가 살아가는 도시, 이 모든 것이 유산을 통해 만들어집니다. 그 유산에는 나와 우리의 기억이 담겨 있습니다. 미래를 만들어갈 유산 안의 우리를 상상해 보면 어떨까요?